We get to play Jasmine on top of this Jasmine. They have to return all of their cards back to their hand that are exerted. NANI? I was looking on dreamborn.ink and I found this deck on the trending page that says not fun. And that's right. I'm going to keep updating it. So fave, if you want to stay tuned. Yes, I want to stay tuned to this deck. I'm going to hit that button. Testing the Jasmine shift line and the Basil shift line at the moment. So this is not the Basil shift line at the moment, but this is a pretty fun deck from the looks of it. It takes the green steel core of the Diablo Muses, Ursula, Prince John. It takes that core and then switches up the steel with Sapphire cards. It's got Jasmine for the shift onto this Jasmine, and then it's got Tipo for ramp, and then it's got the ramp songs. This one right here, one jump ahead. If Ursula sings it, that's 2 inkies into the inkwell. Sudden Chill, same way as the discard shell. Hypnotize, same way as the discard shell. I love it. And then the additions from this set are Jasmine. And then you also play this because you want to cheat out this action faster. But we're going to talk about it. The Jasmine is crazy. The 6-drop, but you can shift it on turn 5. Says when you play this character, if you shift a player, return all other exerted characters to their player hands. If they have a bodyguard, if they have something exerted, even if they have a Cinderella Stout-Hearted, it's going back to their player's hand. It's not to the bottom of the deck, but it removes them from the board, and then they have to dry for another turn. It's good. And then we have our Wombo combo here. So if we put everything to the bottom of the deck, that would cost 5. And then the Bend to My Will action card says each opponent discards all cards in their hand. Doesn't matter how big their hand is. Doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is if they have a Magicka Dispel that says don't discard. And then this Iago says whenever this character quests, you pay 2 less for the next action you play this turn. So if you have 10 ink, you could do the Wombo combo where you shift your Jasmine, quest this, and then play this. That's a whole lot of cards in a Wombo combo, but that's what we're thinking. It's got the Bruno, it's got Under the Sea, it's got crazy things. I like to see it. You don't want to double sing Ariel Under the Sea because that's not how that works, or Ursula Under the Sea, but Ursula is here to double sing these 2 songs, and that's okay with me. I'm excited to try this deck, see if we can make the Jasmine pop off, and see if we can have the Bend to My Will happen.
As we learned in this video, Iago is back on the map. Number 2, Jasmine / the Bend to My Will combo goes crazy. It's so sick it happens more than once. And then number 3, Ursula probably isn't the move here. Or is it a distraction for your opponent so they brawl your Ursula and not your Jasmine shift target?
We're going to be going against an all dwarves deck, and we're excited to test it out. What do we want to mulligan? Do we want to get rid of our bird? Do we want to aggressively mulligan for our other bird? Or do we just want to have the Iago hit into there? Is that the hope here? We're going the no mulligans. We're going to ink a Tipo and then pass the turn. No mulligans. We're going for the Iago into the discard all. We get the shift bird, which maybe we should have kept, but that's okay. We can ink Jasmine, and then we can play our Tipo, and Tipo will ramp us the song, and then we pass. Bum, bum, bum. There it is. Yeah, so that's what we want to do. Cool. We can ink our bird, play our Iago, and then we're good to play this next turn. If they don't take this out next turn, we're good to go. This has 2/3, so we're not going to do anything there. We are just going to pass. If this Iago hits, if they don't take out Iago, which they won't be able to, we get to play Bend to My Will and discard 4 of their cards, which is a lot more than discarding none of their cards. So we will quest Iago. We pay 2 less. We just need to ink something. So we will ink Jasmine. And then we will play the action card, Bend to My Will. Discards 4 of their cards. Now they're in top deck city. And do we quest here? Maybe not, just in case we get like a sudden chill or a one jump ahead. So we will, in fact, pass there. They play that. This is only a one quester. They play their Snow White. We need to take out the Snow White because Snow White makes dwarves cost one less. They are questing away. We get a Prince John. Yeah, if we ink Iago, then we can play both of these. And we need to take out the Dwarf, so we will challenge our Iago into the Snow White. And this only does one. This only does one, so I think we're going to challenge that with Tipo at this point. And then we pass the turn. That was pretty crazy. Turn 5, played that thing. Or was that turn 4? I think that might have been turn 4. To play Bend to My Will. And if we had Prince John out earlier, that would have been a 4 draw for us. So maybe we should have waited, but we didn't. We are just going to hard cast this. And then we will get to quest our bird. Looks like that might be all we wanting to do this turn. This has 2. Do some damage there. Oh, we pass? Maybe we're not using our... when they draw, we draw with our Diablo Devoted Herald. They play a dopey. Look at all those dwarves they got. Definitely should have saved the Jasmine. Did we just cook ourselves? They're at 15. So we can shift this Jasmine onto this Jasmine, which is just crazy. So we get to play Jasmine on top of this Jasmine. They have to return all of their cards back to their hand that are exerted. So good. And then we can freely quest. But I don't think it'll be enough to save us. Because if they put out all those characters again, I guess they can only put 1 back. Maybe 2. We get to draw a card. When they draw a card, we get hypnotized. Love to see it. They play a Sneezy and a Sleepy. They take out our John, as they should. We can play Hypnotized. They have to get rid of one of their doors when we draw a card. And then we can play Hypnotized. They have to get rid of one of their cards and we draw a card. And then we can ink the bird and play a Jasmine. Heal up to 1 damage. Don't mind if I do. I have to type it in with the keyboard. There it is. Healed 1 damage by playing Jasmine. That's her ability. And then we get to challenge Jasmine into this one. And then we get to challenge Diablo into... Oh, never mind. He doesn't challenge. And then we challenge this one into there. Oh, if we quested first, we would have ink left over. That was a mistake. If I quested first, this would have cost less. Nice to know about Iago. And then we'll quest that. We're up to 9. I think we're still okay just from the amount of discards that we got them. When they draw a card, we get to draw cards. Tipo, they get to discard their hand and draw 2, and then we get to draw 2 with Tipo, and then we get the Jasmine to shift onto Jasmine. It's just that good. That's actually crazy. So Jasmine, we play it. Shift the Jasmine onto Jasmine, returns it to their hand. Then we quest Iago. And then that makes our action cost 1 less, which we'll get to play Hypnotize. They discard, we draw. We can ink. We can ink Tipo. And then we can play Ursula to see if they have a song. They have all dwarves. And then we quest our bird. And we can quest Jasmine for 2. Questing for 2 is a good deal. And then we can quest Jasmine for 2. It's a good deal, up to 15, and then we pass the turn, and we have the game on lock now. When they draw, we draw. We have another Ursula, and there's the Grumpy. Is Ursula a distraction? Or is it just make it more consistent? Maybe. They have a dock in their hand, and then we are going to quest with our Jasmines. And that'll be the game. We're going to give it one more go to see if we can do it again. And we'll go against a different deck. We will be going against a red-blue deck that has the new Maui Shark in it. Who do we want to get rid of? What do we want to do? We like the one-jump Tipo. We do a lot. We like the Prince John Hypnotize. But I think we can do better than that. I think we love this hand. We're keeping it. We will ink something. Almost looks like to be Iago. It's going to be Ursula. And then we will pass the turn. Next turn, we'll get to ramp up a bunch. There is Popsicle. Our card draw is Prince John, which hurts us. So it looks like we have to ink Iago, and then we can play our Tipo, and then Tipo can ink an additional card. Going to be a John, and then we will pass the turn. Look at all those cards in their hand. They have 7 cards. We need to make them discard some of them. We can play Prince John. Looks like we're inking Iago, and looks like we are singing out one jump real quick. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of options in hand, but next turn will be kind of guaranteed to rip 2 and draw 2. Draw 3. There's Chicha. We have Jasmine. We need to save her, so we are going to sing Sudden Chill with Tipo. It's going to make them discard a Flower Sham. We get to draw with our John. And this is kind of a great deal right here, but we are going to keep our funny up and play Hypnotize, have them discard a card. When we draw a card, 2 Hiram's gone. And then we can ink a Jasmine and play a Jasmine. And we want to heal John 1 damage. And then we'll pass the turn. That was an all right turn. Probably not the best amount of turns. They quest their Chicha. And now if we shift, it has to go back to their hand. So we want to save our shift. So we will play Iago. And in real life, we would probably play... Oh, not ink that. We wanted to play that. So we could see what's going on. This has a 1 stat. This is a 2 stat. We are going to challenge it so they can't get that card draw. And then I'm pretty sure... Oh, they're at 5. And this is a red-blue. So we don't want any targets for Maui. So we're not doing it. They play a Fishbone. They're going to exert the Fishbone. They're all the way up at 4 ink already. Crazy deals. And they play the Raya. The Raya has once during your turn, whenever a card is put in your ink, will you may ready another chosen character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. We have the Bend to My Will. So I think that we are just going to hard play it. We shouldn't hard play it. We should quest first. It makes this cost 2 less. Then we can play this. Make them discard 2 cards, and then we draw 2 cards. And then we can play our bird. And then we will get to pass the turn. They play Grandma Tala. They quest for twosies. So I can send this back to their hand by shifting. So I'm going to play Jasmine and shift her onto Jasmine. It's going to return that to her hand. Then I'm going to quest the Iago. It makes action cards cost 2 less. So this is only going to cost 1. So then I'm going to play this for 1. They have to discard that card that I sent back, and then we draw a card, and then we also draw a card because they discarded a card with Prince John. The Wombo combos, we are going to ink the Ursula because we're at that point where singing with Ursula isn't going to help us. But having another shift target for Jasmine really could. But they could top deck Be Prepared. So why would we play this card? I don't know. Do we want to heal a damage off of someone? Yeah, we do. We want to heal a damage off of Iago, but he has no damage. We're going to quest our bird. We will quest Jasmine. And then I don't think we want to quest John, but just because the Be Prepared is imminent, we are going to quest John, even though we don't want to. But if they attack into John, we'll be okay. Do they just quest? They quest and then they Be Prepared. Wow. Incredible. And now we're in a real bad spot. We have one card. We can just play both of them. So if they have a Tremaine, we can choose our favorite one. They play Popsicle, they get to draw a card. They're going off, dude. They have Sail the Azurite Sea. They get to draw a card, and then they can put another card into the Inkwell face down and exert. They play RLS Legacy. We get to play Ursula. And then it looks like we are going to challenge 2 damage into there. And then quest our Prince John just to keep up with that. And then we pass the turn. They could get lots of good cards here. They could get Be Prepared. It looks like they're just going to ink it, and then we'll never know. We get a Muses. We are going to get to play our Muses. We're thankful that it is warded. We could do 4 more damage into it, and it looks like that might be what we need to do. So we will go ahead and challenge all of our people into the RLS Legacy to put it at 6 damage. And next turn, hopefully just Ursula has to go into it to take it out. They gain 2 more lore with the RLS Legacy. They get a card at Sailing the Azurite Sea, lets them draw a card, and then lets them ink an additional card. They play a Popsicle. That's all 4 Popsicles on the board. They play a Tipo, and their draws have not been favorable to them. We get a Diablo, and we will in fact play our Diablo, and then we will get to challenge into the RLS Legacy. And then we kind of get to quest for free because Tipo is not strong enough to take out Prince John, or take out Ursula, or take out the Muses. It would be with a Fishbone, Maui's Fishhook. But hopefully they don't play it. Hopefully they don't get that. They play a Grandma Tall. They get to look at the top 2, put 1 in their hand, and then they ink it. Weird choice. They're questing their Tipo. We get a Jasmine. Can we shift this on anything? We can't. I think we should save it, but we're going to play it. And do we have game on board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? We don't, so we will challenge the Tipo. Take them out of there so they can't sing. We'll quest our John. We'll quest our Ursula. And we got to quest these 2 also, just so we can try to win next turn with the Jasmine. If they can't take out Jasmine, we're going to be okay. But there's plenty of options for them to take out Jasmine, including Be Prepared. They take out our John. They have 1 damage on them. They play McDuck Manor, a huge location, and then that is the game. We are going to get to quest with our Jasmine for the win. I really like this deck. That wasn't too bad. I'm sure that there's better plays to do with that Bend to My Will card and the having Prince John on board. I think that is a crazy combo. Thanks for watching. We put out new videos every day.